Are we live? We're live? Okay, amazing, fantastic. Hey everyone. Thank you for making it. What's the day today? Wednesday evening. Super excited to be here. Yeah, I have a coffee coming. Wow, thank you, Russ, for that. So while we wait for some people to join, we're going to give them 1 minute or two. Let's get this presentation up. We have a lot of interesting things we're going to cover today. To start with, who we have a chat here. So my first question is, who's been on the stage before? Have you what did you speak about? Did you get paid? How much? Let's use the chat room and get to know each other a bit here before we start. I'm going to give people 1 minute to join so far. Okay, here. In the chat room. I'm super excited about today. It's going to be so fun, and we're going to go very practical into how you can actually, what resources you need, what you can do in order to actually build your speaker career and get going speaking. Let's see here. Okay, we have the chat room to turn. Okay. So, quick question: I've been on stage before. What was it? And did you get paid? And in that case, how much? If you can also drop, hey, I'm new here. Hey, Atun, nice to see you. Also, Atun, yeah, what's your name and what are you curious to speak about? What's your coaching topic? We will go, yeah, today we'll go zero fluff. We'll go like straight into a lot of stuff, how to craft the speech, how to be great on stage, how to find an agent, how to get sales done on public speaking, and most importantly, also like how does public speaking actually lead to you getting more paid gigs. Sonia, hey Sonia, very nice to meet you. Great, amazing. So okay, I don't know if you've been to some of these webinars before, but like in my case, I really hate it when they do like long intros, a lot of fluff. So if it's okay for you, we're just gonna dive right into it. All right. Let's go. So a bit about me. I've been doing public speaking as a side gig. And I want to emphasize most speakers do speaking as a side gig. They're often like coaches or they're professionals, a full-time job. But still, in my case, I've done over 130 of them. It's been a nice side gig in terms of 250 euros in fees. And for speakers, it's amazing because you build authority, you go on stage, and you can really also get more coaching clients from it. Right now, I'm working on a book actually about how top speakers get gigs and what they do to be great on stage. I'm interviewing a lot of great speakers throughout Europe and the US for my podcasts, great agents. And today in the webinar, I also share some of the cool little nuggets I learned in that process. So I suggest we just dive right into it. We go for it. So today is about what you can do in the next 8 upcoming weeks in order to really kickstart your speaker journey. So for who is it? Like maybe you never had a paid gig big before, or you had a few gigs, you want to get better, get more booking, and increase your fee, or you are a coach, entrepreneur, expert, and you want to build your brand, have an impact, but also increase the income. And speaking also a great way to travel for free. So let's discuss definitions. How does a successful paid public speaker look like in our eyes? You go 20, 30 minutes on stage, you deliver value in a really wow format, you invoice, a usual fee in Europe is 2,000 to 5,000 euros. It's much higher in the States, but we're focusing on Europe for now. And you do the same talk over and over again. We're going to cover why we do that. And it's a great feeling. You go there, you build authority, and it's just an amazing feeling to be on stage. You get the travel costs, all that are covered. You speak at really awesome conferences if you know how to sell yourself the right way. And it's a great way to connect with other people backstage because usually in a conference, they invite really awesome speakers. And it's a great way to kind of also spread your ideas to other businesses. A lot of coaches have like different philosophies for it. So a great speaker can also easily upsell. So you can do workshops. I'm doing a lot of that lately. You can do coaching, of course, consultancy. And lately I did my first MC gig. Super fun and exciting. So the best part is I would say anyone can do it. You just need to know how to match your knowledge with the right audience. And at the end of the day, the best speakers are really good at packaging themselves and selling themselves in the right way. It's also important to find your style, right? So some of us, like I have a lot of energy and humor when I go on stage. I know I'm amazing speakers who are calm and serious. I know speakers who are emotional and they make the whole audience cry. The best one are able to combine all three. You make the audience cry, laugh, and be a bit shocked. But you need to find your style. But all the styles are quite good. Um, and as I mentioned in the beginning, it can also be a part-time gig. Like most successful speakers, they have a full-time job, but speaking, they do it 10, 12 times a year, and it's a nice 30, 40,000 extra on the business bottom line. Today, we'll answer questions such as how to turn your story knowledge into a talk that actually gets booked, how to sell to conferences, like how to actually find them and contact them, how to prepare like a pro before a big moment, how to be confident and impactful on stage, how to deliver a presentation that makes the audience say, wow, this was great, so you get rebooked, and how to find an agent and build a successful partnership. Before we dive into these tips, I just want to share like the real perks I'm feeling of doing the speaker lifestyle. One is you get really to share your ideas and thoughts and make an impact. That for me is like number one. The other one, the people you meet backstage is amazing. Oops, how did that sneak in there? Let's move it. So you get to meet amazing people backstage. So here, for example, I was sitting with Ken Segal. He was the marketing guy with Steve Jobs. And we're sitting backstage and we're colleagues there. We know two speakers, same conference, and being to spend like 1 hour with this amazing person and learn from them and, become friends. Amazing. It's fancy. I come from a very simple family, but I'm not going to lie. It's like, when you get like picked up by a nice car and they drive you to some fancy spa hotel and amazing food, amazing entertainment, it is kind of fun, especially when it's covered on top of the speaker fee. But the most important one I would say is to actually be able to spread your ideas and make an impact. Here, I was speaking in front of 300 seventh grade students about entrepreneurship and what they could start this summer. And after the talk, I had all these kids running up to me and be like, hey, I want to start my business. I'm going to sell lemonade. And that really moved me. 2 weeks ago, I was in Oslo. I spoke in front of 250 16, 17-year-old entrepreneurship students. They had it in the college about how they could move on after college with the business. And I said, hey, if somebody want to book a coffee, you can. And so many booked coffee, and they said like, wow, you really inspired me to keep doing this. So the biggest is for me is like, it's not the money, but it's about actually making a really positive impact. So let's dive into it. Here's like an 8-week blueprint you can, after this talk, implement. And after this 45 minutes we're going to spend together on beautiful Wednesday evening, impact and use for yourself. It's designed for people with full-time jobs, business entrepreneurs, coaches, etc. So it's not like a crazy 8 weeks. It's very doable. First, we're going to look at find your niche. Week 2 is create a killer hero talk. Then how to build your brand. And the last few weeks are, how to reach out to conferences and get bookings. So week 1 is all about finding niche. Like you need to discover, it's about like your passion and align it with the right market need. For example, how did I find mine? Like I've been doing 7 startups in my life, 100 employees. A lot of them were Gen Z. We launched Norway's fastest growing pizza chain. So I managed to combine with the speaking, and I just saw that a lot of leaders had the same challenge as me. It's like, how do you lead and manage Gen Z? So I thought, okay, I'm going to become a speaker on that. So finding a niche. The hint here is you have to think different. In my case, I went from restaurant owner to Gen Z leadership. Like for most people, you would think like, oh, Max is going to speak on a restaurant conference about how to make a great restaurant. That market is very, very limited. The amount of companies who are working and hiring Gen Z, huge. Oh, like it's literally endless. My friend Atle, he's a Formula 1 champion. He just won Speaker of the Year. Amazing speaker, Formula 1 champion, and works on TV as a commentator. You would think he would speak at car events, but he went from Formula 1 champion to high performance leadership. So he can speak at any company in Norway that wants high performance leadership. It's a really cool transition. You can be a mental coach. You can speak about resilience and performance in the workplace. You can be a leadership consultant, and you can speak about change leadership. Well, this is the best example. Like when I said that anyone can do this, I really meant it. you can go from teacher or educator to speak about learning and engagement business. Mika is an amazing guy. I saw him live in Oslo 2 years ago. He went from being teacher, and now he makes more in a 20-minute talk than he did a whole month being a teacher in Sweden. Amazing. And it just shows like everybody can really become a successful speaker if you just know how to take your knowledge, package it, and find the right market. It's about balance between demand and being unique. So how would I do if I were you? First, I would do some research. So let's just do like a case study. Let's imagine I'm not Max Gouchan, I'm Max Walton, 47 years old. I care for about innovation, AI, change management, technology, and live in UK. What I would do is I would go and first look at research my market and who speaks there. So there's a great site called Listen. It's actually the agency that represent me. It looks like this, and here you can find speakers. You can translate it to English. 1 second here. So I will go here and look at, okay, what do speakers about innovation and AI and technology speak about? Who is in demand? Like, okay, Eric is an amazing speaker. He's 72 reviews. Hans Petter. So, okay, if I also want to speak about AI technology, I would look here and I would look like, okay, who actually booked him? Like, I would check the reviews. What did people say? What did they appreciate? And then I would find similar companies in the UK and just contact them with the same topic, because you know that most likely they have the same challenges, right? The difference between, like in Europe, the themes are usually very, very, very similar. I would also look like who booked in the person. So when you reach out, you can find that exact same person just in UK on LinkedIn. And let's look at like, okay, who actually books speakers and easily pay? And when I say easily, this is like pretty common rate, 3,000 to 6,000 euros or more for just a 30-minute talk. Most talks now are around 20 minutes, I see, but 30 is also a pretty common one. So internal events is definitely the highest one. It's just, for example, like here, I spoke in front of 200 leaders at Pizza Bakern. They gathered all the franchise leaders, and they were there a whole day to, do team building, think different. And I spoke about how they could work more effective with Gen Z. So internal events is by far the biggest one. Every big company do 1 or 2 of this a year, sometimes for each department, and they always hire an external speaker. Associations, they're great if you want to travel. Like for example, here I spoke at HSMI. It's an association for hospitality industry. They don't have usually the highest budgets, but I spoke in Oslo, and they have associations all over Europe. So then suddenly I can contact each of those associations, be like, hey, I spoke at HSMI Oslo. I know you were having this event too. Are you interested in having a coffee with me about your event? Government, I love this. I always joke it's kind of like getting your taxes back a little bit earlier. So this one, usually very pleasant. I recently spoke at the biggest hospital in Oslo in front of all their head doctors, and they always pay on time. You have non-for-profits, they're nice, but they give you big exposure, not the biggest budgets, but I know speakers who did a one non-for-profit and it just completely blew up. Like so many people from the audience booked him because it was business leaders. Breakfast events, this is amazing. So for example, here, Pharma Relation, they have a lot of different, different customers like Pfizer, AstraZeneca, etc. They invited all of their customers for like a breakfast event. I was the only speaker, and by that I could a really great exposure. And after this talk, I actually got a new booking. But I'm going to close the window here. It's getting a bit chilly. 1 second. Oh, hey, I'm back. Webinars is also nice. I was a bit against this before because my talks are memes, humor, and jokes, and I felt like sitting in front of a screen, you can't like really transfer that. So, but I did one. I got a request for one. They see me before, and it was so fun. Like the client was happy, I was happy, and I was sitting there doing my jokes, and it went nice. And 1 year later, they called me and be like, hey, we're actually doing it again. Can you come? And I'm like, can I do from home? They're fine. So I was like, okay. I woke up, I made a coffee, I logged on my computer, I did my jokes, I did my material, and boom, that was 2,500 euros. And then I started my day. So I'm trying to get more webinars now too. So A big note here is my manager Nils in Taliesin. He said, like, even though speakers are still meant to inspire and motivate, many customers are looking for concrete tools. So when you work on your speech, really focus on creating a lot of like value. It's not just your story. It's more about how can you really help through your talk. Then you should answer who would benefit most from hearing it. Sales, CEO, HR, everyone. For me, it's one sentence. HR professional leaders at companies who recruit and lead Gen Z and millennials. So you should be able to answer this question with a one-liner. And if you do everyone, it's bad. Then your talk is a bit too broad. What problem do you help them solve? What technique, tools, and mindset do you offer? And how does your talk create real value for them? I did my talk in North Norway, and I remember a woman who worked in a hotel chain there. She ran up to me after the talk, and she said, "Hey, Max, great presentation. I have a new employee starting in 2 hours. I need to go and fix some stuff." If you can make that real impact where people change their mindsets and they can implement it fast, huge success for your talk. Another question is like, are you better than an internal resource? So companies now lately, this is a trend we've seen happening for the last 3 or 4 years after COVID. They will always check internally, like, hey, do we have any internally who knows a lot about, in my case, Gen Z or something? So they will always check. What you want to do by week 1 is to have a very clear statement, like, like what's your talk, what's the title, who do you speak for, what is the topic, what is the outcome, and a quick like Twitter size or X size pitch. So research, rough idea, fill out our one pager. I think we'll send it out in the email afterwards after this webinar. Week 2 is about actually creating the presentation. So we're going to look at the hero model. It's like 10, 10, 50. I'm going to explain to you how to add interactive elements and how to create a presentation that gets rebooked. It's much easier than you think. The signature keynote is a format like, I don't know if we invented it or not, but I haven't heard so many other people use it. We call it hero talk. 20 minutes. So 20 minutes you on stage. 20 minutes where you go on stage and you speak. And then imagine a conference says, hey, can you speak, Sonia? Can you speak for 30 minutes? Then you can easily, in 1 minute, adjust it to 30 minutes. But then you make the audience interact with you. So you have like audience interactions. So I always say to people, like when you make your speech, think 20 minutes is where you talk. The rest is where you engage the audience, you do some exercises. So it's actually not that hard to practice. So 20 minutes you speaking, 10 minutes interaction, 5 minutes on digital tools. So let's look at the model. First, think about the title of your talk. Should be sexy. Imagine I have a talk and it's like a robot that goes and kills people. Sounds boring. Or if you make a movie. Or if you make a movie that's called Terminator, that sounds like sexy and badass. You want to go see it. So think Hollywood and think good titles, right? We need to sell ourselves. The other one's like, I can call my talk how to lead and recruit younger generations, or I can call it winning with the younger generations. Like people rather see how they can win with them than just like how to lead and recruit. So think about the title. It should be selling. There's 5 structures that work really, really well. So one of them is the 7 trend setup. I just made a talk about communication in Gen Z. I really love this one because it's like fast paced and it's so easy for the audience to follow where we are. So for example, 2 minutes intro, 7 trends, like, and then conclusion. This is a banger. It just, I helped a lot of speakers create talks in this format. It works really well. Then the 3-chapter narrative. My talk about recruitment leadership is in this format. First, I do introduction, then I do millennials and then Gen Z. Now I switched it. So it's like introduction. I talk about how to recruit Gen Z. Then I talk how to lead Gen Z, and then a wrap up. Story-driven, super easy to expand into workshop. Problem mistake solution. This is also beautiful. This feels like a TED talk. You talk about the problem today, common mistakes, what's the solution, and then call to action. Before and after, this is how we used to work before, the new way, the shift. And remember, most speakers don't have a good structure. I'm very surprised. Like a lot of speakers don't have a good structure. If you just implement from all the webinar, from all the 45 minutes, if you just implement this tip about looking at these 5 structures, choosing one, sticking to it, you will already have a talk that is so much more pleasant for the audience to listen to. Then we have what I call the action formula. This is really good for coaches. If you're a coach and you have your own formula that you use, a lot of coaches have this. These are very nice because it just blends in beautifully with your brand. We talked about giving the same talk at the same time over and over again. And some people are like, wow, Max, what do you mean? Like, I need to customize it and then make it different. No, you don't. The reason we want to make the same talk over and over again, by the way, if you have any questions, use the chat. I'm here, it's live. So any questions along, just go in the chat. So think about Phantom of the Opera. Like, it's my favorite musical. If I go to London and I've seen it there 3 years ago, if I go again with a girlfriend or someone and I want to see it, I will expect exactly the same music, exactly the same actors, exactly the same show. That's what I'm expecting and what I want to show my girlfriend or someone. It's exactly the same with your talk. If your talk was really good at the conference, some people will come up to you and be like, hey, can you do this talk at our company? And then they'll expect the exact same thing. Solfrid, Speaker of the Year in Norway, she did around 600,000 euros last year in speaking. In Norway, small country, 5 million people, and she's been doing the same talk for 25 years. Like, you can do you really don't have to be afraid of like, oh, it's going to be used up. So that's why we are so particular on this. You need to develop your hero talk. Canva is great. I love Canva because I have a lot of GIFs and memes and no sound, so I use Canva. So think Hollywood, entertaining, memes, strong visual, no bullet points. I can give you a quick preview, just like how a presentation looks like. For example, like for me, I speak about recruitment leadership. Let me have a look here. Need to open up here. Let's go. So let's open up here, share this tab instead. So my presentation, as you can see, I have 160 slides for 25 minutes. Here I have, it's colorful, it's no bullet points. And so here I have the slide with customer interaction with the audience. So this was about communication. And here I asked, what makes you stop when you sit on the bus and you scroll? Is it a picture? Is it whatever? Talk to the person next to you, and then we're going to discuss the answers. So this slide here buys me 3 minutes on stage. So if I have just like, if I need to cut down this presentation by 3 minutes, I can just easily hide this page, and I can hide all of this exercise page. I have 3 of those. So that's why it's so easy to expand it. So I don't need to practice. I don't need to prepare. It's so easy to expand it. And as you can see, like, it's just, yeah, my talk is a lot of memes, fun interaction, and really connecting with the audience. So no bullet points. Like, bullet points, that's a huge no-go. Okay, so someone asking why no bullet points. Like, okay, why hey Dina, like, why no bullet points? Like, who here, like, we can do a hand raise, who here love bullet points? The moment you have bullet points is because you have a lot of text, and nobody want to have text. Like, if you have text on the slides, like, people read faster than we talk. So if you go on stage and you have 5 bullet points, when you're reading up the second, the audience has already read 5, and you're just repeating to them, and that just like create this annoying feeling with you just create this annoying feeling with the audience. So I just have like, I created like maybe 70 talks now up to this date with other speakers, and I say, like, if you work with me, there's no bullet points. Like, it's just forbidden. It just creates a bad flow. I hope it answered. And as you can see, I'm very passionate about the no bullet points thing. So you can never go over time. You can go 1 minute under. You can go 1 minute, like, or 2 minutes under, but you can never go over time. Preparations. This will determine your success. You need to meet with the organizer and ask them, who's the audience? What feeling do you want them to leave? Can you get a list of the participants, or at least the businesses they're from? What's the overall goal? Who introduced me? Get the contact information of the host, because you need to ask them about the introduction being sent to you. What's the technical setup? Do I bring my Mac? Do you have it? What's the stage like? Also ask, how are people sitting? Like, are people sitting round tables? Or are they sitting on like this, like, how to say it in English? Yeah, are they sitting like in lines? And then the last one here, they really love it. Ask them, do you want a selfie? Like, and what I mean by this is, imagine it's a conference about, like, Denise, maybe you can share Dina, Dina, maybe you can share what you're planning to speak about, or what you speak about. So in this case, it can be like you film a selfie and you say like, hey, I'm so excited about being on this leadership conference. It's happening 5th of June. I'm going to cover how to recruit and lead Gen Z. Get your tickets. I can't wait to see you there. So this gives the organizers something to share on social media, and it gives you exposure, right? So it's a win-win-win. So always ask for a selfie. Okay, we have a lot of covers. So I'm just going to go. I love 20-minute keynotes. You have to time your talk. So I usually go every slide with a timer a few times, and then I do the whole chapter with a timer, and then I do the whole talk with a timer, and I do it 2-3 times. I've been doing the same talk for 130 times, so I know it's roughly on point, but I still just practice it every time just to like make sure I'm 100% on time. My routine before gig, yeah, this is how I practice. I just cover that, and I always use a timer. You can never go over. A pro tip is to practice your speech 2 times a month. That's totally 40 minutes. Remember, we did that speech 20 minutes, because sometimes you have 1 or 2 months without any gigs. And if you haven't done your speech for 2.5 months, it's a bit like harder to jump into it. So you should just at least do it once a month. It makes it much easier to keep it fresh. The magic day, you're going to stay. Before you speak, arrive early, be friends with the tech team, but never trust them. You need to check that your slides are up, everything is working. You meet the host, discuss how you want to be introduced. I usually go on stage, and I practice. So I go on stage, and it's an empty audience, right? It's just the chairs. And I practice my opening 3 to 5 times. What does this do? This makes you comfortable on that stage in that room. So when you're actually going on stage with the full audience, your body and your mind, you already been there. So you feel much more comfortable. It's a trick I learned around 8 years ago. It completely changed the way I think about it. I was MC now 2 weeks ago, and I introduced 30 speakers in Stavanger, and some of them were really nervous. And I said, hey, in the break, go on stage and just get the atmosphere. And they all said like, wow, this really helped. And bring your own gear. Bring your own clicker, HDMI to USB, and MacBook or PC just in case. Like, always be prepared. Okay, to be better on stage, again, just use the same talk, have 3 versions in Canva, and just always think, how can I make each slide better? Yeah, we discussed about that talk at the same time. Some tips, like some pro tips. When I send it to the organizer, I usually go like here in Canva. I press share and I write like public view link. And then I just use this link, and I just usually send this like a custom view link to the organizer. So that works really well. And in this case, like I send the link, and then if I suddenly have an idea of adding a slide the night before, I can, because everything is in the clouds. I don't need to send them a new PowerPoint or stuff like that. So Canva is really beautiful to send over stuff. Use memes, pictures, little text. People want to be entertained. Think Hollywood, and make it look like you make it. So here, use some AI tools. Use a good designer. It doesn't have to cost you a lot, but like make every slide count. Like I was have this, and this I just made it in AI. It took me a second, but just make every slide count. For example, I was working with a speaker, and he talks about like decision laundering in data analytics. And I thought like, okay, most speakers, they just take a slide, you throw on some text, and you just say decision laundering. Or maybe you put like some GIF next to it to make it feel alive. I would think, okay, can we make something fun about decision laundering? Can we up it a level? So if I was making the slide, I would have like, decision laundering, something that really stands out. And I thought, okay, what if we go really creative here? What if we make some movements? So while the speaker speaks, you get some something happening. It doesn't take your attention, but something is happening. So unfortunately, most speakers end up with just like having this white slide and just some text. But if you're thinking creative, you're really making a wow presentation. And what I'm investing myself is vocal coach, to be able to learn how to warm up and use your voice right. I use a lot of money for training for public speakers. I was just in a hotel a retreat in middle of Norway. We went 25 speakers that are fully booked and amazing speakers. The best. Every speaker presented 50 minutes. You get feedback on your talk. I actually did this presentation too here. There was some just a bit more advanced, and they loved it. And I invest in a lot of training, and I regret I didn't do it earlier. Masterclass.com, I love it. It's around $200 a year, and it's just so many good lessons there about how to write comedy, and it's a lot of good lessons there. Then I would rather go, if you have 30 minutes on stage, I would rather go like 28 or 29 than over. And say you go 28, then you can have like 2 or 3 backup slides in case you don't get any questions for Q&A, and have 2 or 3 backup slides. Like you can be like, hey guys, I see we have 2 minutes left. Actually, let me share a cool story with you about this. And boom. And then you like filled up your whole time. For the Q&A, usually prepare 2 or 3 people. Like say, I have a question on like, what happened in 2008? And the answer is the iPhone came out. So I prepare usually 2 people in the audience, and I say like, if nobody answers, can you answer the iPhone? But just give it a second. So, always prepare. Run a giveaway, that's very popular. For every audience engagement, I really recommend Slido. It's amazing. I have some classes out about, like some guide videos about it that we can send. We're not going to go too in detail there, but it's amazing to interact, to audience interaction. So let's talk about like a bit money. When to accept a free speaking gig? So Africa is going good. I won't accept it if it's travel involved to another country I want to go to. It's a big exposure. So it's a lot of different businesses in the audience. And usually I also ask if they can pay for, if I have a partner, I ask them to pay for a partner. Another thing is take break. And if people laugh, let them laugh. I was so bad at this until like a few speakers pointed out to me. So if you tell a joke and people laugh, don't rush. Let people laugh. And avoid this mistake. You don't want to go over time. So, that was a lot, and we are just getting started. I'm kidding. We are like halfway, but so far so good. Is it? Do you have some new ideas for your speaker journey, Sonia, Dina? We have a few more people here, so if you want to make an introduction, please let me know. Right. Well, while I wait for your answer, we just go. Speaker brand, we're going to look at bio and positioning, speaker reel, and website. So the biggest part about branding, it is to create enough trust so that when people book you, they are, and Dina, here I'm going to say it, we don't want people to be afraid of like, oh, a speaker will come, it's going to be white slides, 20 bullet points on each slide. Our audience is going to get bored to death, and I'm going to get fired afterwards, or my colleagues will hate me. Why did you book Max? He's so freaking boring. It's the worst speaker I've ever seen. So we want to create trust. So we want to remove all that doubt. So actually, let's look at that. I actually got a gig. It's 3rd of June in Bergen. I haven't met them. I haven't seen them. They just saw my speaker reel, they saw my website, they saw the topic, and they went to my agent. They signed the document, and I'm going on stage 3rd of June. I have no idea about the conference or anything, but they booked me without a single meeting. 3,000 euros, single meeting. So what's cool is like, you don't need a crazy presence on Instagram or LinkedIn, be famous, have any certificates or YouTube channel. You just need to create enough trust that they feel they won't keep by having you. So a good picture comes a long way. Arman, good friend of mine, you can see him on stage. He won Speaker of the Year. My manager Niels, you can see him in action. I just have this headshot. I've been using this headshot for 3.5 years now. Works, cost me 30 euros in Barcelona. Works perfectly. Update LinkedIn, at least mention that you are a public speaker. Have some testimonials. The best are the videos, if you can get. I have now 73, but just always ask for it. Always ask for reviews. Video, it's not about you. It's really about the result they're getting when they book you. When I write speaker reel manuscripts for speakers, let me share with you here, just like the formula I use, and feel free to go crazy with it. I don't mind at all. So the speaker reel manuscript is like, I have opening hook, why this is relevant, why they should book you, the promise, like what will change after having you, proof that it works, what other people are saying about you and your speech, your signature style. I usually say here also like no bullet points. And then you have the call to book you, like, hey, if you're interested about this topic, let's sit down and have a coffee. So this is the format, and usually just like 1.5 minutes is more than plenty. Your first speech, like, hey, make it count. I would really hire a videographer, even if it's just like a student for a pizza or something, but just have someone film you on stage, because you should really put some of the footage into your speaker reel. And always ask the audience for the view. A good website is a must. A website doesn't have to be fancy. It has to convey the message. Like in my case, helping companies recruit, lead, and communicate with Gen Z through powerful keynotes and workshops. Where I was featured, my speaker reel, about me, my talks, what other people say, the testimonials, and that's it. It doesn't need to be super fancy. So yeah, but just the most important part is the communication, what you're actually saying on the website. Speaker bio, again, it's not about where you went to kindergarten or what you do. It's more about like what change do you make after you've been on stage. So Dina, see here, it's a very different proposition, tradition learning presentations will be an interesting pivot. Yeah, okay. I love that thought. Interesting. Talk description, again, what's the return of investment by booking you? So now we have a nice title package. Now we can start to sell. So the rest of the weeks, I would just spend them really, really on selling yourself. So first conference, you need to reach out to yourself. Biggest mistake is I see people are like, oh, I want to become a speaker. I want to go to an agent. Like I have a lot of friends who are agents across Europe. I'm represented by several agents across Europe. They've been on my podcast and they all say the same thing. They get bombarded weekly with people who come and be like, hey, I want to share my story. Can you represent me? And they say no to like 93 to 97%. My agency in Norway, they even introduced now that if you want to audition, it costs 600 euros for them to listen to your talk and see if you're a good fit. So going to an agent, it's gonna be very hard, close to impossible, and it's not gonna solve your problems. So first, 100 conference, like just find them yourself, start local, keep it simple, focus on region, and send a short direct email. So the emails I send are, hey, like this is like for Espresso House, it's like Starbucks in Sweden. So I want to make every email personal. I want to make every email don't feel like a mass email, because it's not. I actually found this person sent it. So I said like, Tjena Patrick. So Tjena, I wrote in Swedish, because in Sweden, I just had a talk for 200 franchise leaders here in Norway, all about how to better recruit, lead, and retain Gen Z and young generation. Feedback was strong. Hey, are you planning any big leadership gatherings this year? And then I said, by the way, I used to have a coffee subscription here in Norway. I loved it. They discounted it. I think I drank too much. So you see here, it's like a casual email. I'm not selling myself. I'm not sending like a 2-pager about my talk and me and all things. I'm just like, hey, maybe I can help you. And negotiations, like budgets, free ruins the market. If you do free talks, then it's kind of like ruins for everyone. It's not very recommended. Starters, like it's nothing wrong with doing the first 10 or 7 gigs for 300 or 1,000. It's totally normal to get some practice and get some testimonials. But you want to, at some point, you just want to be brave and do, say, the gig is 2,000 plus travel. And then you actually get like better gigs, right? So in Europe, in general, to charge more than 5,000, you should be like a celebrity or bestseller books. It's a bit harder. If you're cheap, you won't get booked for the good stuff. When you get a yes, make a contract, 1-pager, fee and payment terms, when is the talk, who covers the travel costs, what's included. Working with an agent, how to find one. We talked about the mistake, but like we have like an inner circle and an outer circle in agency. So usually 10% of the speakers, they get booked all the time, and then 90% they complain a bit. I actually won a prize a few years ago. It was Rocket of the Year, and among the 700 speakers in Thales, Norway, I had the highest growth, like by 520%. And my manager Niels, like just this year, I already have like almost 40,000. It's actually it's going to be a record year for me in speaking this year. It's because of the podcast. I've been meeting so many speakers who are doing good. So I hope you can check out my podcast. It's like a lot of good tips. It really helped me. So the tips here is like bring them business. Like find a gig yourself that's 2 or 3 thousand euros and bring it to them, and always be loyal. I usually like to have one agent in each country and be active. Like ask them to share things on their social media. You should meet them 4 times a year minimum to keep the momentum. Again, you're building a business together. Just getting an agent and get listed on their website is not gonna do that much. It's not gonna magically create a lot of gigs for you. Usual fee is 20 to 30%. I would say it's absolutely worth it because they will bring you gigs that you wouldn't get anyway. So 20, 30%, easy for me, easy choice to say yes to. This is a good approach, right? We did that with a speaker I'm working recently, and he got the agent. So hey, I know most speakers usually reach out asking to be put on the list. That's not what I'm doing here. I just got booked to speak at this event, this budget. I've been thinking for a while. It's time for me to bring on an agent, and this feels like a natural place to start. Love you to handle the final details. Like, hey, so you actually, it's hard for them to say no because you're bringing them money. Like they can't say no to money. So it's this is like the best approach to get an agent. Yeah, and I have a few different ways. So week 5 to 8, 500 conference and companies, send them an email invite for coffee and just pitch yourself in. Like, don't be afraid of selling. It's simple as that. The cool thing about speaking, like you don't have like an inventory or warehouse. It's kind of like a bit easier to get started. So simple as that. How to make more money? You can become an MC, host events, offer workshops, also make the content available online for the companies. That's also a nice way to upsell a little bit. So yeah, congrats. You are ahead of the majority of speakers who do free speaking or just got one single paid gig and are struggling to get a bit more. And what we just covered here in super intense 45 minutes, you could absolutely take this on your own. But here's the truth, and I see quite a lot. Most good speakers get stuck forever. They prepare, practice, but they never kind of really reach their goals because few reasons. You don't get any bookings. Something fails on a presentation and you get like a block in your head and you don't want to do it again. You get a brain freeze because you did the wrong preparations. And sometimes you destroy your chance before they begin. Happens a lot. You pitch the wrong topic, you charge too little, or you get stuck in this endless communications back and forth, going to the wrong conferences that don't pay to speakers. And sometimes the things that are holding you back are invisible. Maybe your online image actually looks amateur. You don't realize it. You think you have a great speaker reel and website, but it actually does you a disfavor. Your speaker reel isn't helping you, it's hurting you. And you're wasting like hours and hours and hours on just picking up wrong advice here and there online. And you might be missing a big paid opportunity simply because you don't know where to spot them exactly or how to negotiate them in the right way. And worst of all, you don't even realize it before it's too late. Here's the good news, though. Here's the good news. You can skip all of that and guarantee your shot to become a really successful, high-paid speaker, as we discussed in the beginning of the webinar, knowing exactly what's right for you so the audience love you and the organizers say yes to book you again and again and again. You can achieve this on the first try if you know how to do it or have someone who knows everything about the paid public speaking. So you can move fast, know what's best for you to succeed, avoid painful and expensive mistakes. I made too many of them the last 12 years. Get someone to do the heavy lifting and leverage their skills and kind of guarantee that you make it to the stage. 100% confident, you go on top there, you know you have the best slides, you have the best structure, you have the best content, and just be like our rock star on the stage. That's why we're presenting 8-week paid speaker sprint. This is where it's a hands-on in-person program, one-on-one, specially designed for expert and coaches who wants to really add speaking to their business operations. For those who get paid occasionally, we will help you create a predictable outreach sales system to get on more stages with better and higher fees and better presenter. For those who never been on stage before, we will actually create your whole presentation. I have a full-time design team, content writers, video editors, web designers will create the whole thing and help you land that first paid gig. It's not a pre-recorded like do-it-yourself course. It's it's done for you interactive sprint, so you get focused personal support. You can kind of think of it like a program that guarantees your growth for speaking career. Week by week, you'll get a killer signature presentation that you can use over and over again for many, 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 many years. All the speaker marketing assets, the skills to find opportunities, and guidance to reach out to secure paid speaking gigs. Here's what we'll do for you. Your speaker website, custom professional speaker reel video. We overhaul your whole LinkedIn with new banner design. We help with the whole presentation, manuscript design, layout, all these interaction tools like Slido, etc. We do 6 live coaching sessions together, me and you live. All the packaging, build a presentation, show you how to do the outreach on LinkedIn and email, how to contact conferences, and also how to do the follow-ups. Example, like one video we just did for Håkon, a really cool one. When he came to us, he had around 50,000 euros in paid speaking gigs, and now his career is just really took off. So again, the most important is of course like the manuscript when we make the video, but this turned out really great. Beautiful website, and that really conveys your message. Sylvie is an amazing speaker about sustainability. Everything is like, we have everything like logged. We make like a custom CRM for each speaker. Requirement commitment in time is around 2-3 hours per week, because most of the heavy lifting is done by my team. So basically 1 day of 2026 to set up a very, like, it's just not a new income stream. It's a very fun, exciting and interactive income stream. Like, I could, don't say this to anyone, I could do this for free, like the public speaking, but I just love it so much. Yeah. So we have some really good testimonials, like Kingston, when he came, he had like landed 1 gig at 2,500 euros, and he was like, wow, can I get paid to be on stage and do this? This is amazing. Camille, we created a whole talk to him about the AI for finance. Great guy. Maggie also got on her first stage. It was so cool. We have so many testimonials. I can actually sit here for 1 hour going through them, so you can see it in the recording. And now we have quite a few people through the program. It's been amazing. I think we're close to 60 speakers now that we worked with, all good reviews. Yeah, Håkon, another cool part was like, Håkon, when he came to us, he got rejected by Thales, the agency I'm at. So we really worked on his positioning, messaging. The talk was a bit too narrow, and he sent me a picture a few months ago. I was so freaking happy. He got accepted to the Thales agency, and yeah, it was a huge milestone for us. Atle, he won Speaker of the Year, the Formula 1 driver. And for me, this was a huge moment, because he, in his thank you speech, I was one of the few speakers he mentioned, thank you for achieving this. And I've been working close with Atle on his speaker career. Yeah, so for LinkedIn, we overhaul it. We make it really nice. We make it spot on, make it really shine, and position you as a professional coach or speaker. And we work on combining what you do consulting, what you do as speaking. Yeah, was Maggie. She landed her first speaking gig. Amazing, super happy for her. Levi, it was great to honor to give a presentation to 100 excellent leaders. Max and Jordi, thank you for the trust and encouraging Jordi. Like, we did the whole thing for Levi too during the 8-week sprint. He got amazing feedback. Sylvia too. My first concrete step in 2025 was to attend Master Gouchan Become Speaker program. There I learned how to position myself, build a pipeline, and turn the opportunity to many. Amazing speaker to work with. So yeah, this program is built on real experience. I've done over 12 years, over 120, now over close to 140 events, huge TEDx talk, have a network of agents in different countries. I know a lot of conference organizers, and I invested a lot into personal training. So all of this, I'm teaching away and helping implementing to the speakers I work with. I've spoken across, like, from everything from small rooms with 10 top CEOs to conference with 600 plus people across the world. And yeah, this program is all the wins and mistakes I did for the last 12 years into this 8-week sprint. And in my podcast, I've been learning so much from agents and everything I'm learning from them, I'm really implementing the talks and strategies I develop with the speakers I work with. So yeah, by the way, get my book. If you want to get my book, it's coming out in around November. And it's just a crazy feeling. You go on stage, you're there for like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and then be able to send an invoice like this. It's boom. It's a magic feeling, like to be able to be 20, 30 minutes on stage, make an impact, and then get 3K for it. It increases the fun. And yeah, so all this, like after we also have a mastermind group. We usually meet every Tuesday. So here you saw Sylvie. I work with Anita now, Lisa. So every Tuesday we also meet. We support each other. We help people when they're stuck. It's a very strong community for those who have been through the 8-week sprint. Best of all, like one paid gig can often pay off all your monthly expenses. Imagine getting one of those a month, and this is not online course. This is like where we're actually doing the heavy lifting. And it's a big investment also in career, because you learn the strategies behind giving good talks. And I think coaches now they implement what we did after the 8-week sprint into their sales presentation, to the way they pitch their client. So it's a lot of cool stuff that you can bring with you in your career. Alternatives, 2-day speaker workshop. It's usually like 1-2K for a day, people you're not familiar with. And it's like, it's not so much focus usually on business aspect. Online courses, no real feedback. Watching free stuff online, like you get stuck forever in a loop. I have one competitor in the US, Speaker Lab. They charge around 12, almost now 13,000 euros, which is, I think, is a US price, which most people can afford. So, and how much is staying stuck already costing you? So, I would say this is a really golden opportunity to get your shot at paid public speaking. And I would say it's probably the best programs for this in Europe, and probably the best big app. You can be a part of it. And here's the builder question. How much does it take to join the program? So with all the website, copywriting, promo video, expert review, we do the overhaul, the sessions, custom outreach, everything, like the value I would say is huge on this. And if you do separately, like I know speakers in Norway who just did a presentation for 3,500 euros. You can get all of this. And again, we only have happy reviews, and I'm really proud of the work we delivered, and much more for just 2,997. So it's a huge, I think, website, speaker reel, presentation, 6 sessions together, help you set up all the automations and outreach, and really work towards getting that first paid gig or more. I think it's a really value for money program. So if you want to apply for this, you can scroll down below the YouTube link and just click attend, like book a meeting and book a strategy call, and then we will jump on a coffee, me and you, have a fun coffee online. And worst case is like, we walk out of there with just a fun coffee. Best case, we really put your speaker career to work. So we do our first call, we discuss your current situation, where you want to go. If we are a fit, we sign a contract and add you to a WhatsApp group. We start onboarding. If you're not a fit or you change your mind, hey, we had a fun coffee together. Yeah. So any questions before we run off? It's been a very intensive 1 hour. So if your speech is posted somewhere online, how can you give the same one again without reading this? I've already heard it. I just had a coffee yesterday with Pellegrino. He does around 400,000 euros a year, and his speech is online, and people see it and they book it because they saw it, and they say, "Hey, can you give us the exact same speech?" So yes, you should have your whole speech posted online, and you should encourage people to see it. But the chances that everybody's seen it is very small. Usually, it's an internal. Like imagine an internal event at Lloyd's Bank, and they invite like 80 branch managers. How many of those branch managers have seen even Simon Sinek's video of why? Maybe one. So the chances that somebody's seen your speech is little. I've had situations when I was in North Norway, and somebody came to me like, "Oh, I saw you 2 years ago. It was so refreshing to see you again." I was stressed. I was like, "Oh no, this person suffered through all my jokes and my 167 slides again." And oh no, but they were like, "Yes." So cool to see you again, Max. And it was so refreshing to get reminded about what you said. I picked up some new things this time. So never, don't need to worry about using having it online. Great question though, great question. And a lot of speakers stress about it. And hey, at one point I was stressed about it. I came to my manager and I was like, Nils, Norway is so small. I already done my speech like almost 130 times here. Should I make a new speech? And he's like, chill. Like Solfrid, same speech, 25 years. All good. And then I was like 100% relaxed. Now I'm trying to break into the US market. So of course, like you can also try to get gigs outside. Hey, thanks for all the good questions, and see you later. And Dina, thank you so much for sorry I said Denise a few times, but Dina, thank you so much and for joining us. It's I hope you had fun and got some nuggets. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Just to show you like how easy it is to book a call, you go here, see where we were, and then book a strategy call. You choose a time, for example, Friday 9, select your name, tell us briefly like where you are at the speaking, and schedule a meeting. And then we jump into Google Meet. Be great. All right. Any final words before we take off? Sonia, thank you. Yeah, I tried to pack as much as I could in 45 minutes, and I tried to share stuff that I would appreciate that I knew 12 years ago that would completely change. Yeah, I would have had much more gigs now if I had these advices 10 years ago. As a speaker, go or no go for interviews for podcast. I will go for every podcast you can if you have the time. Like everything, everywhere where you can spread your message. Like, hey, I'm Sonia. I'm speaking about this, and just position yourself as an expert. If it's a good podcast, they have a good reputation, and I don't mean like in terms of like reputation in terms of number of viewers or listeners, but like, is it a good podcast? Like, do they stand for something good? Is it good people? Will it not damage your brand? Then easy. Just if you have the time, just go to as many podcasts you can and just be visible. Get yourself out there. Okay. Wow. It's always so scary to be online. Like I was a few weeks ago, not Norway, 400 business leaders, easy. But here in front of you, expert coaches, oh, I'm nervous as heck. It's like, whew. But thank you for being so active and nice in the chat. I really appreciate you made a huge difference there, and I hope you can leave us a review about this podcast, and I hope we can grab a coffee one day soon. Would be amazing. All right, then wishing everyone bye and thank you for coming. It was really fun. Okay, I'm gonna go and take a shower. A bit sweaty here. Always scary to do a podcast. I don't know why, but it's just yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night, Sonia. Thank you. Bye.